Hello and welcome to sunny Cornwall. It's the 12th of July and we're in the middle of a heat wave. It's rather fantastic. It's actually, I think it's the third heat wave that the southern UK has had this year, so it's shaping up to be quite a hot one. And ostensibly that's good for the garden. I'm certainly not complaining. I've got some produce like my sweet corn and my aubergines and my tomatoes really are looking fantastic. They're benefiting from the warm weather. But not everything thinks that sun is such a great thing. I've got a few veg that are looking quite sad. Things like beetroot and my peas are really not enjoying the heat so much. So it is a mixed blessing, as these things always are. And it's worth noting that the heat wave has followed quite a cold, wet spring, so a real combo of years. What I want to do, with the benefit of a little bit of warm weather hindsight, is have a wander around both in my back garden here and up at my allotment. See what's doing well, see what's benefiting, see what's suffering too, and see if there's any lessons I can learn in terms of a little bit more forward planning or my timing or something like that. Because this heat wave was forecast, I knew it was coming. And now I'm looking at things suffering, perhaps thinking, well, I could have done a bit better. So maybe there's something to be learned here. I'll wander around, I'll point at things, I'll show what I think, and hopefully we can all benefit from a bit of hot weather gardening experience. So what's doing well? First of all, let's look at some of the successes. Well, number one here, my aubergine. Isn't she a beauty? These plants really love the hot weather. I mean, we're in a greenhouse here, so they have a warm, protected environment, but they still benefit from the heat. The aubergines are a bit slow to kick off in the wet, cold spring, even in the greenhouse here. But they're absolutely loving it. And I've got half a dozen aubergine plants in pots and some more in the soil beds in the greenhouse next door. We'll have a look at those. And what a summer for it. I think I do like aubergines as well, so I think I'm going to have a good aubergine feast this summer. You can probably see I've got shading of various types on my greenhouse. That is essential. I mean, it can get too hot. Particularly tomatoes, they do suffer from the heat. So the ideal is to keep it warm, nice and sunny, but not crazy. And shading just helps to moderate the midday temperature. If we ever do get a spell of dull weather again, I'll pull this off and let them benefit from the light. And let's have a look at the other things in the greenhouse, because it is a good success story at the moment. So as well as the aubergine there, I've got some great looking plants. Again, they love the heat. One down there, just start to turn a little bit red. Basil, again, another heat lover, and dill there. The tomatoes are doing absolutely fantastic. They're growing an inch a day at the moment. A little bit difficult to see the fruit, but if I just go down here, you can see there's this bottom truss. There we go, starting to turn red, and there's more. So all tucked away in there. Another heat lover, little stand of melon plants in here. They're just starting to become a very dense profusion of flowers on there, and each flower in theory produces a melon. Let's just zoom in and see what's happening inside there. Obviously they won't, but I had a couple of melon plants in the summer in the greenhouse last summer, and I just put them in as an afterthought, and I had two very nice melons from quite small melon plants. So hopefully this big stand will produce a big load of fruit. And here's my little greenhouse. I said everything in here is in soil beds, no dig soil beds. The chilies and the aubergines, they're really coming to their own. They're getting larger than their counterparts in pots. They were very slow to start here, actually, again because of the cold spring. These were just like little sprigs, but as soon as the hot weather came along, vroom, they got their feet in the soil, started a bit of power growing, and I think they're really going to do well. They will certainly outperform the ones in pots there. Just see the aubergines there around the corner, just starting to get their feet in the ground there. Got some outdoor tomatoes here. These are planted pots partly sunk in the soil. The idea is they benefit from both being potted and the roots can get down to the soil, if that makes any sense. Absolutely loving the heat, roaring away. You can see I've got some fruit starting to ripen now. Another stand of outdoor tomatoes here. Again, they're doing very well. They had fleece around them to start them off. I planted them quite early in the spring. Again, absolutely loving the warmth. Outdoors, there's no chance of them getting too hot. Even in a heat wave, so they're just going to benefit from this warmth and absolutely loving it. This monster down here is a courgette. And as long as you keep the water on them, absolutely love the warm weather. And a cucumber plant here, same category as the courgette. Just really enjoys the warmth. growing very, very fast. Haven't had any cucumbers off it yet, but I soon will. So those are the things in my back garden that are doing well. I need to now look at things that aren't doing so well, because some of our vegetables that we grow in an English garden, they aren't really suitable for, let's face it, Mediterranean temperatures. Starting with my peas behind me. These were magnificent up until about a week ago, and they're still producing pods, so there's a reasonable crop, but they're drying out fast. It's just too hot for them. Some of the plants are actually dying now. And the peas are like turning to dried peas in their pots. I'm going to pick all these soon and freeze them down. But that's really not benefiting from the heat. I've been throwing water on them every day as well, but it's just been a bit too much for them. Had I known this heat wave was coming, and who can predict the British weather, but had I somehow known, I would have gone for earlier peas. These are main crop, and they wouldn't have suffered in quite this way, because the crop would have been out by now. Another slight casualty is all the brassicas. This is my brassica seed bed, and these are just the ones left over from being planted up elsewhere. But I'll go up the allotment in a bit and show you what happened to their brothers and sisters when they were planted out at the beginning of the heat wave. Not a pretty sight. It's just too hot for them, particularly the winter brassicas. I mean, they must be wondering what planet they've ended up on. I've actually dug some of these up a few days ago, and I put them in pots just so that I can put the pots in the shade and start to look after them. I will replant the brassicas at the allotment with these potted ones once it's safe to do so. But again, it's really just too hot for them. And I've got a little stand of beetroot here. Again, I've been throwing water on them every day. Beetroot don't like it hot. You see that the plants are really starting to suffer. And the beetroots, you can just see they're down there. They're all right at the moment, but they can turn a bit woody and rather unpleasant the more the heat comes on them. They would like it cooler, no doubt about that. And here's my strawberry plants, one of several containers I've got. And you might have think it would have been a really good year for fruit. Not so great for strawberries. They were doing very well in the cooler weather. And at one point I thought, oh, it's a bit too cool, because they were a bit slow to produce their fruit. But they did get that. Suddenly it became hot. And the strawberries practically melted. They started to cook on the plants. They turned red or pinky red, and you think, oh yeah, it's time to pick those. Suddenly you poke it and it's all squishy. And the one next to it's turned into jam, and it was starting to ferment. so the strawberries were towards the end of their crop when the heat wave came, but it just wiped them out, what was left. So not a good year for strawberries. Again, if I was planning ahead and somehow I knew that hot weather was coming, I might have put them in the shade or something, because these containers are movable. I just didn't think about it, and when I discovered the strawberries were all turning, it was too late. Blueberries, on the other hand, having a lovely crop. They obviously like it, and I'm watering them regularly, as you would do with any fruit in a heat wave, but seems to be no harm there. And here we are at the allotment. So what's doing well? Well, as before, it's the warm weather plants, or the hot climate plants, sweet corn and the French climbing beans and so on. Absolutely loving it. But that's more by luck than judgment, because actually they started off in the cold spell. When I first planted the beans out and the sweet corn, they went out at the same time. I had to cover them all down with fleece because the weather was absolutely foul. There was a nasty cold east wind, and it was wet as well. And these plants just sat there for week after week looking really miserable. And I had a lot of moving little temporary barriers around to keep the wind off them and fleece and so on. And I was just about to give up when suddenly the announcement came from the weather people: heat wave is coming. Great, just what we need. So off came the various protections, and the rest, as they say, is history. I mean, the beans have been growing several inches a day. The sweet corns, although it was very, very shocked at first, it's now starting to love it. It's bunging up. There have been some casualties as well, chiefly in the brassica line. I mentioned that a few minutes ago when we were down at my place. But anyway, as before, we'll walk around. I'll show you the successes first, and then the failures. And again, we'll see what lessons can be learned. So, starting with what is obviously quite a good success here, the sweet corn. This was part of a Three Sisters planting. One of the Three Sisters, which was a courgette plant, didn't actually make it. The colder weather was just too much for it, and it went bleh. And like I said, I actually had a barrier about a foot high all around the sweet corn to keep the wind off, and even then it was still being blown almost down to the ground, and it was cold. And it was that sort of pale green colour that corn looks like when it's just not enjoying life at all. But it has revived, and boy has it revived with this hot weather. And its companion sister as well, some French climbing beans that went in beside it. Just zoom in a little bit closer so you can see them there. See, they're doing well. Again, it's hot, it's dry, it's the perfect conditions for this particular type of bean, not all beans. And you see it's zooming up, actually overtaking the sweet corn. So I put a few poles up just to give it a bit of something to climb up there. But we're going to have good crops of our Two Sisters from this planting. Here I've got a butternut squash. It's one of several. I was only going to have the one up here, but again I heard about the heat wave, and if I just scan it up a little bit, you see another one. That is one of my spares. I thought, well, I'll put it in anyway because we're going to have a really good year for squashes. Just wilting a bit, it needs constant watering, as a lot of these things do. Just because something grows in a hot climate doesn't mean it doesn't need water. And these squashes, in particular squashes, courgettes, cucumbers and so on, although they love the heat, you've got to keep watering them, otherwise, yeah, no crop. But it's looking good. So like I said, I'm popping in a few extra. When I've got any spares of these hot weather plants, I'll pop in some extras. I have some spare sweet corn that I put in as well. You probably see it down the end there, just the other side of the potatoes that aren't doing so well. That's still quite pale green, but even that is starting to get its feet in the ground. The reason it's behind the other one is it only went in a week ago. This is just the last of my spare corn. I thought, I'll bung it in, and it's going to be a good year for corn, so why not? And another success is, of course, my climbing beans. Again, these really didn't start very well. They were being blown around by the wind and the cold weather got to them, and they were fleeced. And I did a little documentary, actually, or a video about my fleecing, and then put these canes in. But boy, oh boy, they're up to the top of the canes already. That's 7 feet off the ground. And it's only the middle of July, so I know I'm going to have a fantastic crop of French beans. Hot weather climber. Love it. And although this plant needs tidying up, I just thought I'd show my artichoke. It needs some serious surgery, but it's going mental. I mean, look at that. It's ridiculous. All his heads off one plant, and some of them are flowering. So what's not doing so well? Well, I've got a fairly obvious casualty right here. This is a big bed full of a mixture of brassica plants. There's Brussels sprouts, purple sprouting, calabrese and some summer cabbages. They all went in on the same day at the start of the heat wave. It was a bit daft to me. I knew the weather was coming, but I also thought, oh, we won't be troubled by slugs. That was my reasoning. Anyway, yeah, we haven't been troubled by slugs. But we'll zoom in close and we'll have a look at the mess, because it's not a pretty sight. So I just lifted up one corner of the netting there so we can see inside. Let's have a look. It's not a pretty sight. There's the Brussels sprouts in the foreground. I mean, they're alive. These have been watered every single day since the beginning of the heat wave, but nothing's exactly thriving. I would expect to see all the plants fully fleshed out, almost touching leaves together, and nothing's got any bigger than when I put it in. It just can't stand the heat. It's too much for it. This bed's not quite a wipeout, but I will have to seriously think about replanting it with something if it doesn't recover within the next week or two. These leeks were planted again at the beginning of the heat wave. They went in to follow some potatoes that got a bit of blight, early blight, so they came out. They were almost a disaster. I've been watering these every single day. Each day they'd flop by mid-afternoon, they'd fall on the ground. I'd water them copiously and they'd stand up again and then flop down again. They've now stopped flopping, so I think I've saved them, but it's been a bit touch and go. Again, just far too hot for them, really. The leek is not designed for desert conditions. My potatoes here, these are crop of second early potatoes. I don't know whether to rate this as a success or a failure. We had a very early dose of blight, which hit every allotment on the site with varying degrees of damage. And you can see these were hit by the blight. The heat wave came and the blight disappeared. It's very strange. I've never seen blight stopped mid-infection before, but it's given them a bit of a new lease of life. They're certainly not dead under there. And I've had a little dig around and there's spuds. So yeah, desert conditions cure potato blight. Who'd have thought it? But like I said, they've been, I mean, it was probably the cool sort of damp weather that encouraged the blight in the first place. So something certainly did. So, or maybe it's the switching between cool and hot. They say blight likes warm, humid conditions. Well, it's certainly not humid, but there you go. Most odd. And my standard peas. They don't like hot conditions. The ones at home are really starting to suffer. These aren't starting to die off, but I don't think they're going to be growing as fast. I keep watering them again, dosing the water on, but it's just a bit too late in the season, a bit too hot. These are main crop peas, and yeah, I'm not going to have the crop I thought I would have had, but they're still alive. And this bed here is interesting to look at. I wanted to compare and contrast it with the brassica bed that was been wiped out. These were planted 4 weeks before, and although they're a bit smaller than they would have been because of the cold weather, because they got their roots into the ground before the heat wave hit, the plants are in good shape. They're a good colour and they start to thicken out. There's a mixture here of cabbages and calabrese. So the tip with brassicas, I think, is if you know a heat wave is coming, if you try and plant them out at the beginning of a heat wave, it's really not worth the effort. That's my discovery for this year. And one or two other little success stories in the making. Some Florence fennel here. Hopefully it won't go to seed. But these were, again, suffering a little bit from the cold weather when I planted them out. They're thickening out nicely, so they're doing quite well. You can't have it too hot, as far as I understand, for plants like this. Again, because I knew the hot weather was coming and hopefully going to last, I popped it a spell with my spare tomatoes. It's going red already. Not a very big plant, but it's doing okay. And as I mentioned, these are my spare sweet corn. They're not huge and a little bit pale, but they're starting to take off very fast. So I'm hopefully, again, the hot weather will continue. All my spares that I've got of hot climate plants, I'm whacking in now, because we might as well. Yeah. And just to show that there's nothing wrong with brassicas per se in the hot weather, I've just taken the protective fleece off some cabbages here that I planted back in the mid-spring, and have a look at them. Okay. There's a variety called Greyhound, just making nice good hearts. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So I think it goes to show that the issue with heat waves, or as we've had in England, a succession of hot and cold weather, timing has become very, very critical this year. Knowing what the weather was going to do in advance was probably impossible. But I think we had a good guess, because the weathermen were jumping around, and still talking about a super El Nino for this autumn. So my sweet corn, I hope we do well. But timing has proved to be very, very critical. And if you can't second guess the timing, plant successional plantings of things like your brassicas that if they get, as these ones have here, if they get blasted, aren't going to get established too well. That's sort of the best advice I can give, really. I mean, it goes to show us that you never know. You absolutely never know. And I hope you've enjoyed a little look around. I'm going to go and sit in the shade and drink some lemonade now, because it's far too hot to be out here filming.